about Eastern philosophies and exercises and practices? When did they first come onto your radar for you actually as a student?
Yeah, I was a pre-med UCLA studying with this famous doctor and was like, man, this doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. You know, in these dead hospital corridors. It's a very specific account where I was like, man, Mrs. Jones is in room 3, Mr. So-and-so is in room 4, and every single one of the charts says morphine drip this much, you know, this PR, and it was all just giving people morphine. And I went and asked the attending doctor, I'm like, hey, so what are we going to do about this other than just give them drugs? And this is why he was an angel. He looked straight at me and said, kid, I don't think you understand what we're doing here. We're just hoping Mrs. Jones dies of natural causes before we kill her. Like, we got nothing. And so here I am, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, busting my ass to get straight A's to study medical science. And this guru is like, oh man, we don't really have anything that helps this lady. I'm like, what am I doing here? So the next week I'm like, well, there's a Tai Chi class out in the lawn with some like, you know, Japanese guy who's got a nice smile, right? And this old kid, and all of a sudden I'm like, what is this? I feel like my hands are tingling. And so being a scientist, I'm like, well, I just experienced that. I don't believe in chi. I'm just, what is this? I feel chi. And that was it. It became this rabbit hole where I was like, what else you got? And I just kept studying and asked God, and we, you know, weird relationship with God, because in the name of God, half my family was killed in this revolution. And my parents were like, that's not God. But I asked God, I was like, look, dude, if you're there, I could sure use a hint right now. And something that wasn't supposed to happen happened. To this day, I can't explain it, but a book fell out of a bookshelf, like, you know, yards ahead of me. And I'm like, come on. And literally, I thought someone was listening to my thoughts, and I'm like looking for the friend that was messing with me, because of course they could hear my thoughts. No one's there. It was a book on Taoism. And I'm like, well, I've heard of Taoism. And I read the book cover to cover that night. And then the following week, I found a Kung Fu studio that was a Taoist Kung Fu studio. And the master, you know, on the other side of the school is doing stuff. And my buddy Jason, I dragged a buddy with me because it was all too weird. And he walks right through the whole school, right by my buddy Jason. It's like, I've been expecting you. And I'm like, man, this is weird. But sure, what do you got? Right? Like, I asked God for a clue, and here we are. And 30 hours a week of Kung Fu, Tai Chi, Xing Yi, Bagua, all sorts of crazy stuff later, I ended up becoming a monk. I ended up studying with his master and that whole lineage. I ended up going to India and Nepal. I studied with the Dalai Lama. And so when I'm in. I was like, let's go. What is this stuff?